Hello and welcome to Module 1 of Navigating Nigeria's Economic Realities and Challenges. In this module, we shall be focusing on understanding Nigerian economic landscape, that is from economic victim to strategic player. The money you earn yesterday may not buy the same loaf of bread tomorrow. The module content that we should be looking at here include overview of Nigeria's economy, that is the structure and the key sector. We will also look at inflation, exchange rate, and cost of living explained. We'll look at income level, unemployment, and unemployment trend. We'll also look at government policies and their impact on daily life. We'll further look at common economic challenges facing Nigerians today before we draw our conclusion. By a way of introduction, why these models matters. The objective here is to understand Nigeria's economic as a survival skill for every citizen. The reality is that Nigeria is Africa's most populous nation with a dual economy, that is oil wealth alongside a massive informal sector. Nigeria has high inflation and currency volatility mean your money loses value quickly. Understanding the economy helps you to stop being a victim and start being a strategic player. By the end of this model, you will understand Nigeria's economic structure, the key indicators, and how to navigate economic challenges. Now let us look at the overview of Nigerian economy, that is the three major sectors. We have the primary sector, which is extraction of natural resources like crude oil and natural gas, the agriculture, as well as fishing and mining. Then the secondary sector comprises manufacturing and industry, which deals on food processing, textile, cement production. The challenges they face include poor electricity and high production costs. Then under the tertiary sector that renders different services such as banking, telecommunication, entertainment and transportation. This sector is fast growing in recent years. The key feature is that Nigerians operate a mixed economy, that is government and private sector both participate in economic activities. Having known that, let us look at the oil and gas, that is the double-edged sword. The importance there is that Nigeria is the African leading oil producer. Oil provides the majority of government revenue and foreign exchange. The challenges in oil and gas industry is that is over-dependency. Only 3.5 to 6% of gross domestic products come from oil, yet it generates up to 85 to 90% of export earning. This creates extreme vulnerability to global oil price fluctuation. The consequence is this: when oil price drop, the entire economy suffers. Then another consequence is environmental pollution in oil producing region. Then lastly, there is the neglect of other sectors like agriculture and manufacturing. The solution lies on economic diversification, that is reducing over-reliance on oil and gas sector. Having known that, let us look at the agriculture, which is the sleeping giant. Historical reality: before oil, agriculture was the backbone of Nigerian economy, still the largest employer, especially in the rural area. Major products from agriculture include cassava, yam, rice, cocoa, palm oil, and maize. The opportunity exists. Nigeria has vast arable land and a willing workforce. Government policies increasingly support agricultural development. But however, the challenges we face in agriculture include insecurity in food producing regions like Benue and Plateau State, poor infrastructural facilities and storage facilities. We also have another challenge of post-harvest losses, which remains very high. The key insight here is that reviving agriculture is essential for food security and economic diversification. Having known that, let us now look at the inflation, which is the thief of the Nigerian value. What is inflation? Inflation refers to as the persistent increase in price of goods and services over a given period of time. When inflation rises, your money buy less. We have different types of inflation in Nigeria. We have cost push inflation, which is the most common type of inflation in Nigeria. When production costs like fuel and transportation rises, business pass the cost to the consumer. Then we have demand pull inflation, whereby too much money is chasing too few goods services. Now we have imported inflation. This occur when the naira weakens, then imported goods becomes expensive. Some of the causes of inflation in Nigeria include exchange rate depreciation. So when naira depreciates, it will cause inflation. Then high transportation and fuel costs is also a major cause of inflation in Nigeria. Then insecurity that is disturbing food production is also a challenge that causes inflation in Nigeria. Another cause of inflation is poor infrastructure that is increasing production costs. Now, the effect is that low-income earners suffers the most. The purchasing power decreases, poverty increases. Having known that, let us look at exchange rate. That is the pricing engine. What is exchange rate? Exchange rate is the value of the naira compared to foreign currency like that of US dollar. The Nigerian reality is that Nigeria is heavily dependent on import. That is from petrol to machinery, even to pharmaceutical items. This means that exchange rate dictates the price of almost everything in Nigeria. When the naira weakens, that is depreciates, import goods become more expensive, inflation rises, foreign education, travel, and healthcare becomes unaffordable for many. Business face higher production costs. So these are some of the causes, effects of inflation in the country. Then when naira strengthens, that is when naira appreciates, import becomes cheaper, inflation may reduce. The key fact here is that Nigeria operates a managed floating exchange rate. That is, the central bank intervene to control the volatility. Having known that, let us look at cost of living. That is the real world impact. What is cost of living? Cost of living refers to as the amount of money needed to maintain a basic standard of living, which include food, housing, transport, healthcare, education, and utility. The Nigerian reality is that inflation and exchange rate fluctuation directly drive up the cost of living. Family now spend over 60% of their income on food alone. Factors driving the high cost of living include rising fuel prices that affect transportation and almost all commodities in the country. Cities like Lagos and Abuja have much higher living costs than rural areas. So those living in Abuja may spend higher than those living in rural area. Then low wages make it difficult for households to cope. The relationship here is that exchange rate weakens, import cost rises, inflation increases, cost of living goes up, and living condition becomes harder. The key insight here is that these three concepts are closely interconnected. Understanding one requires understanding the other. Having known that, let us look at income level, that is the wage inflation gap. The struggle. Income in Nigeria is struggling to keep up with the cost of living. The minimum wage reality is that the national minimum wage was adjusted in 2024 stroke 2025, but its real value, that is what it can actually buy, remain low due to inflation. The middle class is squeezes. Many formal sector workers like teachers, civil servants, bankers have seen their disposable income shrinking. This has led to surge in side hustle to make ends meet. The informal sector reality indicates that roughly 80% of Nigerians earn their income from informal economy, such as trading, farming, and craftsmanship, where earnings are daily and highly unpredictable. Income inequality reality is that a small percentage of the population control a large portion of wealth, while many lives below the poverty line. Having known that, let us look at unemployment that is beyond the headline. What is unemployment? Unemployment refers to as people who are willing, able, and actively seeking work but cannot find employment. The Nigeria's new counting method is that official unemployment rate sit at approximately 5.3%. However, under the new international labor rule, International Labour Organization rule, if you work or even 1 hour for a pay in the last 7 days, you are counted as employed. This makes the headline figure looks better than ground reality. The real crisis here is that youth unemployment. Millions of graduates enter into the labor market annually. Not enough. Entry level role in the formal sector. This is the most critical area requiring attention. Some of the causes include rapid population growth, which outpacing job creation, poor educational system producing graduates without practical skill, as well as weak industrial sector. The effect is that it will result to increased poverty, crime, social unrest, and frustration among young people. Having known that, let us now look at underemployment. That is the deeper crisis. What is underemployment? This is the most accurate reflection of Nigerian struggle. It occurs when people are employed but not earning enough to drive. There are two types of underemployment. We have visible underemployment, that is working few hours than desires. Then we have invisible, which entails working a job below your qualification. Real examples include an engineering graduate working as a dispatch rider. Another example is a skilled professional earning barely enough to survive. Millions of people are busy in petty trading but not generating enough profit to escape the poverty. Some of the causes of underemployment include limited availability of quality jobs, slow economic growth reducing demand for skilled labor, as well as large informal sector with low wages. The Japan effect is that brand trends of doctors, nurses, and tech talent has created vacancies but also reduced local service quality. Now let us look at government policies shaping daily lives. What are government policies? These are decisions, law, and action that guides the economy and society. They affect employment, food prices, business, and living standards. The key policy types affecting you include fiscal policy, which is the government policy on taxation and government spending. Higher tax reduces the disposal income. Therefore, government spending on roads, school, and hospital improves quality of life. Another policy that is affecting you is the monetary policy, which is managed by the central government of Nigeria. Higher interest rate makes loan expensive, while low interest rate encourage borrowing and investment. Then we have trade policy that controls on import and exports. Import restriction may increase price of foreign goods. Local industry may grow due to reduced competition. Now we have subsidy policy, that is the fuel subsidy removal example. Remove fuel subsidy was removed to reduce government spending. The effect is that it results to higher transportation fare, rising food prices, and increased cost of living. Now let us look at common economic challenges facing Nigerians today. That is the triple threat, which include high cost, low purchasing power, and structural bottlenecks. Now, number one is cost of living crisis. Many families spend over 60% of their income on food. Fuel and electricity have become luxury items. Small businesses struggle to stay open due to high generator running the cost. Now we have currency devaluation and import inflation. Nigeria is most import dependent, resulting the weak naira hit every household. The price of electronics, car, and raw material fluctuate every week. Now we have another common challenges, which is infrastructure and productivity gap. There is unstable electricity forces, reliance on expensive solar of fuel. Poor road and multiple tax checkpoints increases transport costs. Now, unemployment and skill gap, many graduates are working poor, stuck in low value role. Skill professional living brain drain, which increases local service costs. We also have another challenge in terms of multi-layer taxation. Nigerians pay formal tax to government and informal taxes to private security in form of water and waste disposal. In conclusion, becoming a strategic player, you have now developed the economic lens needed to see beyond the headline. What you have learned in this module include the three sectors of the Nigerian economy: primary, secondary, and tertiary, while oil dependence creates vulnerability and why diversification is essential. How inflation, exchange rate, and cost of living are connected and affect daily life. The real stories behind income level, unemployment, and underemployment. How government policies from taxation to subsidy removal shape economic outcome. The common challenges Nigerians face and how to interpret economic trend. The key takeaway here is that understanding Nigeria's economic landscape is a survival skill. The old Nigerians of stable price is gone. The new Nigeria requires a dynamic and informed approach to earn, spend, and invest. Your next step is stay informed, adapt, innovate, and use economic knowledge to make better financial decisions and navigate the changing environment effectively. Remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your money and your future. Thank you and have a nice day.